Pow. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I don't know what to tell you. This is the Marlins Game 2 post-game coverage. Kick the Cubs' ass today. You know, I told you, Koopaloop was coming. Koopaloop was coming, and they didn't even see it. They thought Yu Darvish was gonna burn him so many times, and that just wasn't the case. So, look, it's coming, Atlanta Braves. I don't know what to tell you. It's coming for you, Ronald Acuna, you hot dog and prima donna. So just be ready. Obviously, I was celebrating earlier, and that was great news. Downtrodden today. Gutsy effort by the Heat. God damn it. Anthony Davis was amazing today. He was a monster, but, just got wrapped up with the post game. Jimmy just got done talking. Spoke cursed. That was cool. He dropped an S-bomb. He said, we don't give a shit. Ooh. I was like, oh, look at that. Spo. But yeah, I thought that too. You look, a couple things. One, I thought that he played with, the Heat were game today. But I thought, they're definitely, it was disappointing. There's a couple of things that's funny about this game. I thought the Heat were game today. I liked a lot of the things they were doing offensively. A lot of guys showed a lot of heart, and to piecemeal that together with 2 of your all-stars out, and Duncan Robinson giving you 0.0, whatever, 2 threes, he was a non-factor. So essentially 3 of your best players all year doing nothing for you. It's it was a valiant effort. But disappointing because I really did think there were opportunities for them to go win that game. And then you look back at how long it took them to get going, and it sucks that you got to that point. And like Jimmy has been saying, that you have to be near perfect to beat this team. I don't think you have to be perfect, but you certainly you can't let them not have any resistance for that long. And the thing that's tough about it is, it just felt like it was, the Heat were getting buckets so easily. And this is funny because, he was talking about this, the last game where, not a lot of the times the Heat's defense will be dictated by their offense, but their offense was so damn good, especially in the third quarter is kind of where I'm referring to, where the game was kind of hanging in the balance and whether or not it was going to go to blowout city for the Lakers, and the Heat hanging tough. And the Heat hung tough. But they could have been, it feels like it could have been a lot better. Now, some of the shots that Anthony Davis made were just unbelievable, but some of the stuff that he was making was just pure, him being just out efforting everybody, guys being a little bit lax, feeling like the buckets were coming a little bit easy on the other side. So, you can get into a little bit of a shootout. When the Heat go into shootouts, they typically win. But the problem is honestly, the Lakers, they were taking, I think they took a record, NBA record of threes tonight. And that wasn't the case with the Heat, man. And if I were to come into this series, I would have thought that the Lakers were going to bully them a little bit, and that there was going to be some games where they're getting out rebounded. But the great equalizer, I just kept begging for it in that fourth quarter. I'm just like, son, please I kept shouting at my TV, get a stop, get a three, get a stop, get a three. And they were getting to the paint, but then once it really got down to nuts time, like the Lakers were swallowing up the rim. And it's a hard thing to do to score against them in the paint. And so I would have liked them to try and set things up a little bit easier, get a good look for three, whether it be probably for Tyler, because Duncan wasn't doing shit. And Kelly played a lot of minutes, so it looked like his legs were starting to go by the end of the game. So that was the disappointing thing. I do feel like that was it's not a game. They definitely didn't outplay the Lakers. The Lakers outplayed them, but I did feel like it was, in a way, stealable. So now you're in this tough spot, man. You're in this tough spot. You're down 0-2. It feels, in a weird way, it feels a lot worse because you're in the, it's funny because we've been in this situation with the Heat where they've been so good in the bubble. They haven't been down in a series. They haven't been down 2 games in the playoffs the entire time. And, this is the first real danger game that they're about to face on Sunday. Because I'm always of the opinion that in the playoffs, you're not really in danger unless you're down 2 games or you're facing elimination. Well, this is a down 2-game situation. You have to win this game on Sunday. Otherwise, it's over. Some people might think it's over now. And certainly if Bam doesn't come back, mostly Bam. If Goran doesn't come, could they win an NBA Finals against the Lakers without Goran Dragic? Tough. But if they had Bam and everybody else, Bam and Jimmy, I still think it's doable. Not likely, but I think it's doable. But it's funny, like they've been in this situation now in the bubble where, you go and you take these first 2 games of a series and then, you kind of just keep rolling on and getting your home games. And now it's in a weird situation where you have you're down 0-2 and you're like, all right, we're down 0-2, but we get to go home to Miami. And you don't. Like, you're just stuck in this stupid bubble, and you don't get that little pop. You don't get like that little home swagger. So as much as that's kind of helped the Heat where they haven't had to face the road, which I think has been a big benefit for their young guys and been big for their young team. I think that now it would help if you were going home to the American Airlines Arena and you would have had the crazy crowd and all that type of stuff, and you feel like, oh, you're down 2, but they won their home games. We can win our home games, and it balances out a little bit more. Somehow they got to think of it like that, because it's not purely like that anymore. So, the thing that I would say, there was a couple things, the things I found most disappointing about tonight, obviously the defensive effort, how easy it was for the Lakers to score and how much that changed really for the team after that Udonis speech. Shout out to the OG. It's disappointing that it takes that, to really, strike it home. And then you see like Kendrick Nunn coming out of nowhere. It's 6. They say he's 6'2". I mean, I've stood next to Kendrick. If he's 6'2", I'm 6'2". And for him to come with a valiant effort and go block Anthony Davis and, them to just play with a lot more pride on that side, because they felt like they were scoring fine, but it was like you're having a finger in the dike, like it was like you were just holding back the flood, because Anthony Davis was literally scoring on the floor at any point. LeBron played a super comfortable game today too. They really didn't make him uncomfortable. And it was almost like they were treating LeBron almost like Giannis, where they were like daring him to shoot. And LeBron's too good like that. He's not like, this isn't like 2009 LeBron where you would do that to him. Like I would probably prefer LeBron to shoot than him to be a freight train, but you gotta give him some resistance. So LeBron got to play a very calculated, pretty comfortable game. It just took too long. It just took too long for them to get to that, especially you're the team that is already down. Like, you should be coming with that full force, crazy effort. But I know, like, I'm not going to say here and say, like, I don't understand the challenge they're facing. Like, the other thing I thought the broadcaster was almost expecting too much of the zone. Like, they're doing the zone, first of all, as a gimmick because their best defender's out. And the foundation of their defense. And the second thing is like you have the best passer in the league and the best post presence in the league. You have the recipe to destroy the zone. So anyway, I haven't lost all hope. I'm not letting go of the rope yet. If Bam doesn't play on Sunday, I don't feel great about it. Like, I'm going to probably watch that game with a drink in my hand. Because I did like the effort, and I did think that there were places where the Heat could have pulled this thing out tonight. The last thing I want to just say before I get into your questions is I'm a big, like, this kind of goes without saying because of the year that he's had, but man, I'm a big fucking Jimmy Butler fan. Like, just more and more. People go about this and they say, oh, he needs to go score more. Mark Jackson was a moron today on the broadcast. I'm just a big fan of the guy. I think he plays so hard. He's literally trying to facilitate the offense every time he has the ball down there. There were times where he was trying to drive it down. The one thing that separates Jimmy, I think, from, you would say, probably elite scorers, but he can do a lot more of the other stuff, is, a lot of these guys can go break your ankles and are comfortable with that jump shot and can get those spots from anywhere. And that's just not him. That's not him, but that's okay. Like, one, it looks like they have a real rising, promising talent in that, in Tyler Hero. He's 20 years old. That has to be, hammered home to some people. Bam is getting a lot better at that too. And I just love him. I have a lot of respect for the guy. I love the way he handles himself. I can't even imagine other franchise not wanting this guy. It's really crazy. And I'm not saying like I know everything that went down there, but from being around the guy, covering how he's been around his teammates this year, getting to see a lot of that interaction in the locker room this year. And, you guys have all seen the stuff on social media, and, just even in this situation, just doesn't seem that shook, thinks that they're not that far away. And he just has a real level of belief. So, look, I'm like I said, I'm not broken after tonight. I'm a little, because I felt like it was so close. It probably wasn't as close as I feel it is, but I'm a fan, so fucking sue me, whatever. Let's get into your questions and comments, everybody. Let's see. Kevin from Chicago says Dragic is the Heat's best player. He's their best. He's one of their best offensive players, but he's not their best player. And honestly, I still think they could probably win this series without him. They can't win it without Bam. Game 3 adjustment, swap Duncan for KO in the starting lineup. So you want to start Kelly instead of Duncan. Maybe. I was surprised they started Myers tonight. I got to be honest with you. Still looked like a guy who hasn't played meaningful basketball in 5 months now. I respect the Hammer's effort. I'm a big fan of the Hammer. But he looked lost on the floor. And it's funny for a guy who does so much communicating. When he's out there on the floor with himself, he just looks a little bit lost. And he might as well have had a damn bullseye on his head anytime he was on the floor, because they were swinging the ball right to AD, and AD was sniping his ass bad. So you must drink my apple. Let's see what else we got. Future is bright. Imagine Dragic, Butler, Robinson, Crowder, Bam, and Embiid. All we need is one more big. Okay, so like, is that in that scenario? Are you trading Tyler Hero? Is like that what you're hoping is the big fix? I would say that would be more likely if they would have hired Mike D'Antoni as their coach. One, I don't want to trade Tyler Hero. But I'll bite on your question a little bit. I would say that would have been a lot more likely if they would have signed Mike D'Antoni as their head coach, because they probably would have gone away from that, more traditional big, high tempo. But them hiring Doc Rivers, like, they're trying to get the character guy who's going to make everything fit together. So I don't think they're going to trade for Embiid. I don't think the Sixers are going to trade Embiid. I don't think he's going to be traded. DJJ needs to play into Duncan. Duncan isn't doing anything. Duncan's on a short leash, man, and he didn't play. Let me see. I got the box score up here. Let me see. He ended up playing. Dunk's only played 21 minutes tonight, so they really did start. And what was he in? He's at 4 fouls, so he's in. Man, I tell you, Duncan is king of. He's been king of fouling people's backs. That's been rough. Surprisingly proud of how Nunn performed. I was too. Could have, it's a tough series for him. Like, look, people say, size doesn't matter in a court, but like, come on, bro. Like, he's like I said, he's 6'1" on a good day, and but I tell you what, that block on Anthony Davis was balls. I like that. I didn't know that they went way back though. It makes sense. They're both from Chicago, but it was somebody put up an old tweet of them. It's funny. V-Man, where are you reading the comments from? I have everybody's comments from Twitter and YouTube on my little window here, but I can put your here. Look, everybody can see V-Man's comments. Whew. I haven't been clicking them. I've normally been doing that, V-Man. Sorry, man. Little rusty. Duncan only scored 9 points tonight. Horrible shooting once again. Yeah, he's definitely. I thought from what I saw from Duncan in the regular season, I know that a lot of the time shooters get taken out in the postseason, and he hasn't been all bad all postseason, but he hasn't been like best fucking shooter in the league good. Some of that's been in his own head. Some of that is guys trying to take him out. But even with the good looks, there's been plenty of clean looks that he has, and he's just not making them. And looks that like it felt like when he shot them this offseason, when he shot them this season, he would never miss. And the other thing is, I really do think when you have a special shooter like that, and you have a series with the Lakers where, that is what I guess you would call their biggest weakness is their shooting. You got to win that matchup, and the Heat aren't. And his fouling is stupid, as Mike's here says. His fouls are so dumb. Correct. And especially if you don't have Goran, and especially if you don't have Bam, you're looking around and be like, all right, what are the special things we have here? One of them theoretically would be Duncan shooting, and that just hasn't been the case. So, that's a bummer. Mike says, dude, your UD photo looks like Embiid. How dare you? So sick of that Joel Embiid commercial, by the way. That's my dude Parks and Alejandro from Parks and Rec. He made that. I think it's good. I like it. Let me see. There's a lot of emotional ties to Hero, Duncan, and Bam. I can't see us cutting bait. Can you, Tobin? They're not cutting Bam, dude. I don't know. If you're talking about bringing in a superstar, I think the idea is that you put whatever star with that with Bam and with Jimmy. So no, they're not going to trade Bam. The dude just won you the Eastern Conference Finals. What are you talking about? Leading scorer, won it with a block at the buzzer, torched the Celtics ass. They don't have an answer for him. They're not getting an answer for him. And that, that was the thing that pissed me off, when they're like, oh, well, the Heat, they got smoked with Bam on the court. It's like, bro, first of all, Bam played that game banged up already. And second of all, like the Lakers won that game blew that game out with their shooting, not all on Bam. And like, just to dismiss that, like he would have no impact, was complete horseshit to me. Is it possible that Goran plays in game 3? I don't know, brother. I don't know. If I had to guess, Leroy keeps telling me this is just like, he's like, plan a franchise, bro. Like, I don't know what you're expecting Goran to do. Now, apparently they're both fighting to play. I would say that Bam is more like, it sounds like, if from the way I know Bam, like Bam's been dealing with nagging stuff kind of throughout the whole year. He's just tough as hell. But remember, he's had injuries on injuries, and he's also like he's a franchise piece. And if they feel like he's going to go out there just to aggravate something, they're not going to do it to him. And mind you, we're just off a finals last year where you had 2 big stars get hurt because they were trying to push through in the finals, and it's respectable, but also those 2 players were lost for the season. So I think if I had to guess, I think Bam plays in game 3. I'm not as sure on Goran. I don't know. I don't have any inside information on that. Maybe there's other guys who do. I do know that they, really pushed to play, and they really had to take it out of their hands not to play. But I think he makes a huge difference. I think Bam, Bam Wright does a lot of things for this team, and he's the best rebounder on the team. Like, if you want to talk about what the biggest issue of today's game was, which was rebounding and bodying people out, and just in general defense, he's the best thing you got there. Like, he fixes a lot of those, aids a lot of that stuff. So there's that. Let's see. I would trade Hero for a solid center. Keep Robinson, because we don't have too many ball dominant players. I disagree. I don't like. First of all, what's you want to trade Hero for? What's like if you want to trade him for Embiid? I mean, I guess I'll have that conversation. I don't want to trade for Joel Embiid for Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero's 20 years old. He's only getting better. He's been showing up in the playoffs all season long. The guy's an absolute monster gym rat. Clearly has some defensive things that he's got to work on. Again, he's 20. Joel Embiid is a mope, supremely talented. Can be at times one of the best talents in the league, but I mean, just has such a as it comes with a motor. So I don't know, man. I'm not a lot of people. A lot of people are in the mode of what are the Heat Finals piece. And look, guys, you guys got to give it up to like. There's not a lot of people who are stopping Anthony Davis right now. He's playing all world. And he's got the ultimate. A lot of people are like, it's funny because people are like, oh, like Anthony Davis is the perfect complement piece to LeBron. And a lot of the ways it's vice versa. Like Anthony Davis has the perfect complement to him in LeBron. It's not like it almost feels like, the engine of it all is AD and his energy and his defense on both sides and going and guarding the best player. And LeBron just kind of is now able there to kind of just fill out all the pieces. In a lot of ways, it's almost reverse of him and it was almost reverse of when LeBron and D Wade got together. Now they fit a little bit more compatibly, naturally by position. So there wasn't like this year of clunkiness, but also remember that year of clunkiness sliced through the best Eastern Conference that the Heat faced. Those two sliced through it like a hot knife through butter. But in a lot of ways it was, LeBron, like that second year, it was LeBron was the force of nature, all energy, all effort, go guard the best player. And Wade kind of filled in the other pieces. And I feel like the way I've watched these, first two games of this finals, it reminds me a lot of that. It's not to say like LeBron is a Pippen or anything like that, because I don't want people going nuts with that, but it just reminds me a lot of that. It looks like the guy who's trying to do it looks like LeBron's trying to fill in the cracks while AD's kind of laying the foundation. Let's see. Let's see. If we got half of those defense rebounds tonight, they put up 20 more. Yeah, that was piss poor, dude. That's the thing that's disappointing, is like there were effort things, and I feel like because the Heat got too comfortable in their scoring that they didn't put in the effort that they should have on the other end. Because, and this is probably the mistake, they keep talking about this 48 minutes or this perfect basketball that they got to play. And the Heat, as great as this postseason run has been, they've been able to make up for lackluster starts, lackluster parts of the game. It's always turned into, this will go into a run. Somebody will hit we'll go 3 possessions in a row. We'll get 3 stops. We'll get 3 threes. And in this case, you're just going score for them. Sometimes they're getting a 3. You're getting a free throw and only 1 of 2. Sometimes they're getting, you'll get a 3, but they'll get a 2 on the other side. Not really contested. It's like there was never that consistent run of stops, makes. And that's been a big proponent of the Heat this postseason. Even when they've allowed Boston to lead the first couple of quarters, there would always be a shutdown mode where they could go and own a quarter. They have not been able to do that against the Lakers. Dragonfly, he says, Lakers flopping all over the place, especially Caruso. That was frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to do some Heat bitching here. And that is that, first of all, Kendrick Nunn was getting hosed on some calls. Like, dude's the smallest guy in the court, and they're calling fouls on him for literally boxing out, and Contavious Caldwell Pope flopping all over the place. And the other thing, let me just say to this, Frank Vogel, Frank Hole, all right, you sat up there 6 years ago bitching about the Heat being the biggest flop-in team in the league, and look at you now. Look at you now. Flailing, the biggest people on the court, flailing all over the place left and right. Garbage. So Julio's letting go of the rope. Oh, not them. Julio says, we are done in this finals, Tobin. We made it this far. Good. We're one piece away. Well, listen, Julio, let me know if you find your piece of guts. You're bailing on us down 2-0. You coward. They won their first championship down 2-0. Show some culture. I'm ashamed of you. One piece. Only thing that hurts me is that Caruso and Kuzma are getting free rings. I gotta tell you, man, that Kuzma dude stinks. I don't care what you Lakers fans say. All you Lakers fans in my chat, hear me out. That dude stinks. Kuzma. You guys sitting here chirping. Caruso, I'll give a little, like, I was tough on Caruso. Caruso, he plays hard on defense. He does the intangibles, things that the Celtics fans love. By the way, that starting lineup that the Heat went with today, whoo, talk about intangibles, looking like Hoosiers out there. But Kuzma stinks, dude. You guys know it. That guy stinks. Rondo, by the way, Jesus. Won't stop hitting shots. That's frustrating. Hate that guy. Has Waiters about to get a ring by sitting on his ass. He's not playing in the games. Josh not going down without a fight. Yeah, I mean, look, the Heat showed a little bit of fight. Like they could have taken a big knockout blow in that third quarter. They showed fight. But it almost it was like they showed fight. They were proud of that third quarter. It felt also in that fourth quarter almost like they were almost proud of showing fight, and like, it wasn't good enough. Also, I think everybody was probably a little bit gassed out from the scoring all that quarter because it was just bad scoring on both sides. But I definitely feel like, again, I said this at the top. Like, I thought that not a game I thought the Heat should have won, but I thought was stealable in certain spots. Let's see. Crowder needs to be a goon. Match Dwight. Keep hitting shots. Yeah, I thought Crowder played pretty decent. Thing is with Crowder though, like, they need Crowder to be better defensively. Like, it's great that Jay goes out there and he's giving you 5 or 6 and he's being super efficient and he's hitting from downtown, but you need Jay Crowder. You do need Jay Crowder to be a bit of a bully, and it's a tough matchup for him. Because he's not quite as strong as LeBron. Nobody is, and he's not nearly tall enough to guard AD. So he's in a lot of series where he's a great matchup. But the thing is, it's funny. You could and that's a little bit of the difference of AD and Giannis. Maybe Giannis will get there, but AD's polish on the offensive game is just so much different than anything that Giannis can offer, at least right now. So that was because Jay did a great job on Giannis, and in a lot of ways, I almost feel like he's got, I almost want, honestly, it's not like I want them to go like Steve Holman style, like resorting to power, or as Kendrick Perkins call them, dem goons. But I would like to see the Heat almost like foul a little bit more, but foul with intent. Play just a little bit harder. Everything. It feels like all their fouls are ticky tack. Like, I don't want them to make it count. Make them think about something. I know that's not today's NBA. I'm not, saying go PJ Brown style, throw them into the stands, but I just felt like it was It was too tough. Frank, let's see. I know it's 2-0, but has anyone ever come back for 3-0? No. Nobody's come back from 3-0. Nobody's come back from 3-0. So Sunday's as must win as it gets. And obviously you hope that you have Bam Adebayo in the fold to make that happen. Just checking a couple things on social, guys. Sorry. Beep, 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 beep. Let's see. Let's see what else you got as far as comments. We can win with LeBron and AD going off. We have to stop Rondo, KCP, and Kuzma. If we do, then we win by double digits every game. Hope our guys can bounce back. Yeah, Rondo's been amazing. He's been really good, and that's disappointing that he's going out and blowing past you, an old enemy, an old foe. Now teaming up with LeBron. It's weird too. I almost feel like I don't see them interact on the court at all either. It's like, all right, you're here. We'll get our championships and get the hell away from each other. Josh, what do you think Pat Riley is feeling and doing? I got to imagine that game crushed him because, he's the dude. No rebounds, no rings. And Jimmy was echoing that same sentiment. I wouldn't even be surprised if Riley texted him after the game. No rebounds, no rings. And, to see them get dominated like that on the boards, I'm sure crushed him. Zone is soft AF. Don't disagree. But you don't have, Roy, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you're not out there with these elite guys. Daniel says, I didn't even mean to click. Damn, Daniel, you snuck in there. I didn't even mean to click on your comment. Would never put your comment on here on purpose. Snuck by me like Rondo. Tobin, what do you think of the moves this offseason? I think that I'll talk about them more when the series is over, man. I mean, they're only down 2-0. It's not great. Sunday's a must win, but I'm not bailing yet. I'm not going to feel great if Bam doesn't play. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, if he doesn't play, then I'm gonna pour me a strong drink. Zone is a gimmick. We need to match their size. You don't have anybody to match their size, man. First of all, you don't have anybody to match their size, and you don't have anybody to match their talent at that size. You got what you wanted tonight. Like everybody, the last chat we did, everybody was saying Myers, Kelly O. And to be honest with you, like Kelly played okay. His rebound, like people are crushing him, and Kelly put up what did he put up? 24-9. Like he had 24-9 from Kelly Olynyk most nights. You're pretty happy. Myers Leonard, gave you 7 and 0. He's 7 foot and he gave you no rebounds, no blocks, 1 personal foul. And everybody who was calling for Myers Leonard to play, I cannot stress this enough. I love Myers. Dude is a great dude. He's a great teammate. Everybody on the team loves him. I been good to my show. But he looked like a guy who hadn't played basketball in 5 months. Now, do you want to get on Spo and saying like, well, why did you completely obliterate Myers from the rotation? Yeah, I guess. But like, if you guys, if you guys watched Myers against the Lakers earlier this year, there was a move where LeBron literally made Myers fly back like 10 yards. It's not his MO. He's a great communicator. He's he's a really good shooter for his size. I do feel like sometimes he's a little bit like, it feels like for as good, like he's better at almost telling people where to go on the court than he is telling himself on where to go on the court. And I'm sure it was a lot of pressure. Like it's a tough spot for him too. Like he's played in 1 playoff game this year, and you stuck him in the middle of the playoffs where you're having, okay, Myers, we need you to be big against the best 2 big guys. So that's it. Let's see. How can you not react the fuck up after Haslam go talks some sense into you? Yeah, but they did though, Francesco. Like that is exactly when they closed the deficit. They won that quarter. I think they pushed in the fourth. Let me gotta get the box score right here. Fourth. Yeah, they outscored them in the third. And I think they outscored them in the fourth too. I feel like they either tied. No, they tied. They played to a push in the fourth. And in the fourth, you need I think we all watched it. Like they needed that last run, but the thing that killed them is Lakers had 6 offensive rebounds to your 2. So, they got 4. They took in that quarter. In the fourth quarter, they took 12 more shots than you did. That was the difference right there. You needed a little bit more of a push. So, to a degree, it did work because they were playing like soft as Charmin, as soft as it gets. They were literally letting Anthony Davis do whatever he wanted. So, tough. Daniel Richards says, "Fuck Tyler." I guess Daniel is president of the "What Have You Done For Me Lately" club. Been a tough series for Tyler, for sure. Been a tough series for Tyler. It was okay today. His final numbers, but there definitely were. I think Rondo definitely put the bullseye on him. I don't know how Duncan Robinson keeps ending up with LeBron James on him. That needs to that's enough of a reason. If Duncan's not out there to hit shots, if I have to see somehow him getting switched or ISO'd on LeBron one more time this series, I'm gonna lose it. It doesn't even seem fair. 34 free throws to the Lakers 17. Yeah, but you realize I don't know if that's like a thing you're like complaining about the free throws. Like the Lakers took 47 threes today, dude. They shot 20 more threes than the Heat did. So I don't know. Would you think you're like gonna get the old fall? That was the other thing. Duncan had a fake fall today that was so bad too. It was just like, come on, bro. In a world where I need Kendrick Nunn to get fouls in the paint, you're sitting here flopping all over the place. But the Lakers were egregious with it. There was one play. How about that one play where LeBron turned into like Israel Adesanya? He was like style better doing the dual karate kick. Somehow we get called for the foul on that. KO is starter. Probably if Bam doesn't go, probably. What I would honestly do if I was the Heat, I would probably start Kelly, and then those spot minutes you want Myers there to get. I would do it whenever AD sits. So you're gonna get like 8 minutes. Maybe you can have him get to 12, but yeah, it just seems like you put that matchup. It's tough for him. Y'all won the Eastern Conference D championship. CM. Bro, you really thought like you had that hard of a run to the not for nothing, dude. You thought like that the West run, you took on a team that needed the bubble to make the playoffs. The Rockets, like the biggest losing organization there is, and the Denver Nuggets, who had to play more games than anybody. Like, look, all respect, you guys win the championship, you guys win the championship, but let's not act like the West was like so vaunted this year. Like, the Lakers didn't have this crazy run. The Heat took out the number 1 overall seed and the back-to-back MVP. There's not a better player that the Lakers took on than Giannis, and the Heat swept him, and gentlemen swept the rest of his team. So you sound dopey. And I mean, like, Denver and Boston, like pretty much a wash of a team, dude. So congratulations, you beat the Portland Trailblazers for 2 games before the rest of their team fell apart. Well, bully for you, love. Bully for you. Crazy. Lakers are a bad matchup for the Heat. Bucks would beat the Lakers. It's about matchups. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. The Lakers are good, man. They got the two best. They got no team has a tandem like that. You know, like, and their role guys have been awesome. They've been really good for them. So he better than the Nuggets. Agreed. Hell out of here. You guys see the Heat Nuggets game? Bam took Jokic's lunch money. He's better than Jokic. Clippers beat that tandem. Do they? I mean, Paul George, like, his whole team wants him off the fucking team. You know? I don't know. I mean, we're all big Kawhi. Like, Kawhi's awesome, obviously, but you're gonna say, I mean, if you're gonna do Kawhi, let's say you do Kawhi versus LeBron. Let's call that a wash. I'm gonna do the old Bam Tice thing, which was the dumbest scout. I hope that scout is fired, by the way. Call LeBron and call Kawhi a wash. I mean, how many more miles apart is Anthony Davis from Paul George? I mean, that seems like a vast gap right now. A vast gap, in my opinion. I would argue that Jamal Murray and Jokic are a better tandem than Kawhi and Paul George right now. And that's just a matter of because Kawhi's great is getting ruined by Paul George. So, what's Tobin's score prediction for Miami Canes versus Clemson? Ooh, a Canes question. I'm going to go Canes 42, Clemson 35. Shootout. Bet on red, son. Bet on red. Scarface was some news for me because I haven't been on Twitter, so thank you for the Scarface. Chris Haynes just confirmed that Bam plans to play Game 3. Awesome. Look, if the Heat win Game 3, they're right back in it. I definitely think they can come back from this. I just think, and the team's mentality too. Like, I feel like they could get on a roll. I know it doesn't look great to anybody right now, and nobody wants to hear it. Like, look, nobody wanted to hear from LeBron when he had to go and win series without Kyrie or Kevin Love or whatever vagabond crew he put together. So nobody wants to hear from Jimmy Buckets, and LeBron's better than Jimmy. Like, and I thought the world of Jimmy's performance today. I thought he was really, really good. But there is a level. Like, they do need him to be a little, but they do need him to be a little bit more. But he had like his second option today was Kelly Olynyk. Like, what are we talking about? So they'll take Kelly doing those Kelly keepers all day. I guarantee you the Lakers let Kelly Olynyk do whatever the hell he wants to do. Okay, we'll live with the consequences. And then the other guy he's got to go on as a child. And Tyler, it's tougher to go get those shots when people are focusing in on you and there's no Goran, there's no Bam. I thought one of the other things that was going to help the Heat in this series is you're going into a series where the Lakers have two guys that are set to close and you could potentially have four guys. And you've lopped off one of them with injury. Tyler really hasn't shown up yet. And Bam was hurt. So I'm not trying to put those guys at the level of the talent of LeBron and AD, but I thought that was a big difference. Now, the one thing I will say, though, is Rondo has definitely played way above expectations. Part of that, I think, has to do with the fact with Bam being gone, so he's been able to skip willy-nilly to the rim. But he's been that extra guy for them who's really stepped up. And props to him for that. But it's only 2 games. It's not you're not dead in the water yet. You could dip your toe in the water. You ain't dead in the water. Myers Mets weren't that bad today. They weren't good. They weren't that good. Let's see. Tyler Hero looking a little out of control. I agree with that. What was he on turnovers today? What did he finish with? He had 2, but I know what you're talking about. Like that pure easiness is not quite what he's had against the that he had against Boston, excuse me. Let's see. Tobin, we need one more all-star caliber player to be that number 1 seed. I don't disagree with you, man. Like another all-star would be great, but the question is like who do you want to trade to go get that all-star? Like do you want to go trade for that all-star this year? Because I would say that guy has to be unbelievable for them to trade Tyler Hero. And I don't know if there's a person in the league they're trading Bam for. You know, I really, really don't. 23 years old, all-star, defensive stalwart. You know, just scratching the surface. So it's sometimes I know people think this is a dangerous thing to do, but you also, you know, young teams go through steps typically. And one of the things that has to be remembered about this Heat team that they kind of got to get they got a little bit of a break on is they didn't have to go on the road for the playoffs. Which is fine. Like everybody was on the same playing field. So in a way it's not a complete detriment to them, but it would have been interesting to see how everybody handles that. And in a lot of ways, Duncan struggled anyway. So he's one of the guys usually I was worried about. I think Bam kind of carries over wherever he goes, but you know, Tyler and Duncan were the guys that was interested in seeing what that turned into. And Tyler's obviously blossomed. And Duncan is kind of as shrunk up a lot in a lot of moments this playoffs, more than I would like to. He's had some big ones, but I expected a lot more of them. And so my big point of that is a lot of the times this stuff is done in, you know, steps. You don't typically have a new team together and they make the NBA finals unless that is you're getting 2 MVP candidates in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You don't typically have it done. That's like 2 mega all NBA guys in their primes. Well, I mean, LeBron's prime is never going to end, but you get what I'm saying. You know, typically it's add a guy to the Warriors, the Heat come together, something like that. And even the Warriors, they went through the core 3 guys went through their steps before they got to that point, and they did pretty fast. My point of that being is, part of this also, part of the enjoyment of this, I think, for the Heat fan, and what makes this team a little bit different is, and listen, Lord knows I've been the king of the sea with my harpoon, but part of the beauty of this has been a lot of this is homegrown, other than Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy's almost like the prodigal culture son who like the Heat never had, but should have always had. And then you have Bam and you have Tyler and those and Goran. And Goran's been here for 6 years. But when I speak to this, I'm mostly speaking about Bam and Tyler. Is that, do you look at those 2 guys and think they're going to be the foundation of a championship? I look at Bam, I say absolutely. I didn't think about that with Tyler going into these playoffs. He was 20. But when you have a guy doing what he did in the Eastern Conference Finals, in the Eastern Conference Semifinals, just the biggest nuts on the table, you know, it makes me feel like, how can you trade that guy? And then you may come out with Bradley Beal and it'd be like, all right, but Bradley Beal's never done that on that stage. And Bradley Beal's, you know, a lot older than him, a lot more expensive than him. Just as bad defensively as he is. So I would just say, you know, if you're gonna talk about what that all-star is, you know, think about that. If you're gonna say, okay, you know, you make the move for Giannis, I don't know what the Bucks are trading for Giannis, man. Like, I think when you have a guy like Giannis, you're probably going to go down with the ship. Like, what did they know? I'm sure one of you Lakers Yahoos that's in this. What did you guys end up? You gave up Brandon Ingram, fraudulent MIP, but he is MIP nonetheless. Lonzo Ball, your number 2 overall pick. So two number 2 overall picks. And what was it? 4 first round picks? So if I am if I am the Bucks and I see what Anthony Davis got and I want to force it, I'm like, all right, well, if you want Anthony Davis, you have to trade me Bam and Tyler Hero, and mind you, that's the haul that the Lakers got, and that was the only place that Anthony Davis was going to go. So if you come at me with, oh, well, what if he forces a trade? No. And then we saw Paul George just got, ton of first round picks. He do have one of them that's already out. So if you're looking for that next mega orca that's going to come here, I think your best bet, honestly, is I think you fill in the void with some pieces this year. I don't know what they are because I don't want to get too into the offseason because I still think that the Heat are in this thing. I really do. I'm not rats off a ship yet. But I think that it is, some supplemental pieces, maybe some more reliable scoring off the bench. Maybe it's more reliable size. Who knows? They are going to have some spaces off season. They might have more if Kelly doesn't come back. They're going to probably bring Goran back, I would say. I don't know if that's going to be on a longer small deal or one big fat deal. I would say probably one big fat deal. It's not impossible that Goran is wooed away. Like, somebody may look at what Goran did for the Heat this year and think, oh, he's our last piece and we want to go get him. The Clippers, the Mavericks, somebody may think that. But let's just say Goran comes back. I think that more than likely, with the cap being unknown, I think the move that's probably going to happen is you're going to hope that Bam and Tyler get better. You're going to hope that Dunk's going to have a year under his belt. You're still in Jimmy's prime. You probably have like the last year of Goran's prime. And then in 2021, when the floodgates are open for everybody, that's when you pounce and make your move with a sign and trade or just straight up bringing somebody into cap. I'm a little hazy on whether or not they're going to give Bam the extension. He certainly deserves it. But maybe that he can have that talk with him. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. That was a big rant, so I feel like I missed a lot of your questions. Let's see. South Central Los Angeles, Killer Cali. Yo, Goofies, stop hating on the Laker gang. All right, then. Marlins, Tobin. Marlins, bro. I got to tell you, that made me so... if I can deviate from Heat talk for like 2 seconds. One, that was awesome. Congratulations to the Marlins. I love the fact that they've just embraced this bottom feeders thing. I think it's awesome. And I just love it. I thought that was really, really cool. Congratulations to them. Macho Marlins man was popping some bubbly today, and I cannot wait to kick the holy hell out of the Atlanta Braves. F the Braves. And that's that. How's your fantasy football team doing? I don't play fantasy football, man, to be honest with you. The only thing I've been doing this year, and I actually forgot to do it this week, which doesn't matter, I'm in last place anyway, is I'm doing this pro football pick. I'm on radio.com. So if you guys want to do that, you can win some dough. If you guys want to do that, I think probably should start next week because you missed the Thursday game. But yeah, I'm not playing fantasy. I always get bored with it, to be honest with you. I don't find it enjoyable. I know I'm a weirdo with that. You look like Myers Leonard. People have said I look like every white guy in the Heat. I've gotten Tyler Hero's older brother that got stung by bumblebees. I've gotten Kelly Olynyk with short hair. I've gotten Myers Leonard. Not much Dunks. Dunks got kind of a horse face. What's going to be feeling better, beating the Braves or the Lakers? The Lakers. It's a championship, dude. But if they beat the Braves, I'm going to be insufferable. They're going to hate me in Atlanta. Woo, they already hate me in Atlanta. Trade Kendrick and Myers with a pick for Bradley Beal. Yeah, Mike, that'll get it done. A guy who's playing 5 minutes in the finals and Kendrick none and a pick. That'll get it done for Bradley Beal. Throw in Doliak. You can see a little Gogi in you. Oh, I feel so bad for Gogi. When Jimmy told me that, he told the media that, how sad Gogi was. I just wanted to go I wanted to drive to Orlando and give him a stuffed Mickey Mouse or something to make him feel better. I don't like him. And Myers and V-Man also mentions Myers is under contract, which is true. He's not. Kind of curious what kind of contract he's going to get, to be honest with you. Still want to see Leroy in a goat onesie, Heat and 6. I like your style. How long have I been doing this? I've been doing it an hour. You guys getting bored of this? KZ Akpala. KZ gang is popular, man. We'll see what he's got next year. If Jimmy started shooting more, we will win game 3. Maybe. I mean, he took 17 shots tonight. He got to the free throw line 12, which is a good amount. Only took 1 3. That's the big thing that's been they beat you from downtown the last 2 games, and I really thought that was going to be an advantage for the Heat. And it has not been. And you did know, a lot of people said, they could survive without Goran. You could survive without Goran's absence was quite noticeable today. There were spots they really could have used his, especially in that fourth quarter. It probably doesn't play out the same if he's there, but I'm just saying, just having another option there, a guy who's just a little not getting tight. They just felt like they got tight in that fourth quarter at times. And really needed somebody who would have taken that 3 or encouraged Tyler to take that 3. And I do think you missed out with Goran. You know what's the strange thing about Goran? It's like a little Superman thing. See if you notice this. This is my son's lizard, by the way. It's a toy. Is it me, or has Goran got gray hair when he's on the sidelines, but when he plays, his hair goes back to that dirty blondish thing that he's got going on? I feel like he looks more gray when he's not playing. I may be crazy, but I think that's a thing. Duncan is afraid. He's playing a little bit shook, man. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely been a big disappointment, I think, out of anything. Iggy, my mom and me got emotional tonight. So proud of this team. I was proud of them too. I was too, because I thought that, but to a certain extent, I was proud, but I was almost to the point where I was I was proud, and then I really thought they could have come out with that win, Sean. I really did. It just felt like they were a stop and a 3 away from really going on a run. It just never came. And you give credit to the Lakers too. I'm not trying to take all credit away, Laker gang. But from how it is when you're a fan, you feel like it's gonna come, and for the Heat, it has kind of every series it's come, and it just never did today. And so I think I was very proud of them, but I'm also a little bit deflated too, because there were effort opportunities I felt like the Heat missed out on that could have made a big difference. Lois in the room saw it too. I'm telling you, he's more gray when he's on the sidelines. It's weird, dude. It's a thing. Juan loves Spo's press conference. Yep, Spo used a dirty word. He used a no-no word. Yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Nick. Where we had a stretch last 7 minutes in the game. We were down 9, strung together about 8 stops, 1 scoreless. I know. I kept I swear to God, like I kept thinking it. And you know what? I felt like they kept going to the rack, and the Lakers were not only swallowing up, that he would turn over, and I just felt, I was like, man, if somebody could just get a three, I felt like it would have just swung the way. It just never came. Never came. Then they got a dunk. I feel like Rondo hit another three. It's all a blur now. It's almost 2 a.m. So whatever. Olenek comes questionable shots, pull up from three. He likes that shot. He likes that running into step in three. That's one of his more comfortable ones. LMAO, you said Heat in 5. Yeah, said what I said, bro. Whatever. You guys act like this is always a funny thing for me. People act like I care about my predictions, whether I get them right, whether I get them wrong. I don't give a rat's ass, dude. I like the Heat winning. I believe in my team. I always believe in my team. That's how I go. You have a lot of these fugazi people out there. They're like, oh, I care about my credibility. I'm like, really, you do? When has anybody ever said, come up to you and said, bro, thanks for your credibility? Never happened to me in the history of doing radio. I've been doing radio now 10 years, all right? It's not like a lifetime, but it's a pretty long time. I've never had a person come up to me and thank me for my credibility. You know what I've had? People say, thanks for the fun, man. Thanks for making me laugh. Thanks for doing this. A lot of these radio folks, the credibility, it's nothing, you know? And other people get credibility, it's just because they've been around for a while, you know, or they get credibility as a journalist. But like, oh, you think I care that if the Marlins are taking on the Braves, you know, for the most part, the Braves have been the Marlins' daddy for the last 2 years. You think I'm going to go on my show and I'm going to say, gotta tell you, I think the Braves got this one in the back. No effing way. I believe in my team. What the hell's the point of watching if I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to root for my team, but I truly feel this. And even people who I see justify that, I'm like, well, all right, you pick what you pick. I don't need your backstory about why you're a coward and why you don't want to pick the team that you want to pick. Hell out of here, dude. You pick who you pick. Oh, credibility. What are you, Francesa? Dude fell asleep on the air. Yeah, I think who's gonna win? I think I gotta have my credibility here. So ours goes with the Heats. All right, good for you. Good for your credibility. Also, like, who wants to be the person? Like, you picked a favorite. Yeah, congratulations. You're so credible. You really nailed it. And even if you didn't, like, who's going back and be like, Nick Friedel, you nailed that Heat in 6 pick. By the way, I was surprised I saw that one for Friedel. Surprised he didn't pick Bulls in 6. I really thought when we saw Friedel come on today on the post game press conference, and somebody was just asked, I think Mark Schwartz asked about the UD thing. Maybe it was Rachel Nichols to Jimmy. I thought like Friedel was going to get up there like, yeah, but was it as good a speech as Taj Gibson used to give you in Chicago? Like, all right, Friedel, we get you, bro. Chicago. Magnolia Strauss, Heat are done. They're not, Magnolia. You guys have 2 games that you have to win still. Hell out of here. Done. Sunday you win, it's done. Not now. 0-2. I don't know if you ever heard of it. You haven't been in the finals in a while. But he won the first championship down 0-2, bro. What do you think KZ can turn into? I don't know, man. I've heard the things on KZ. I've heard him compare himself to Giannis. I know he's been used in scout team as Giannis. I don't know. I didn't watch much of KZ in Sioux Falls this year. I know there's a lot of people that like him. So, I don't know. I know that people like his body, that he could fill out a lot. And the Heat are really good at developing guys. So I think we should just stay tuned. I will say, like, I think that probably a lot of the things that Derek Jones does, you're hoping that KZ will probably give you some of that next year, which is why I think, Derek probably won't be back, I would guess, because I think there's been some rumors about people being interested in him. So, yeah. AD. Nathan Wee. AD and LeBron showed up. Well, I would hope so. For Christ's sakes. Enough speeches about, we're not jealous of each other. Great. Good for you. I'm so glad you guys aren't jealous of each other. I heard, who did I hear today? I heard Damon Amendolara used to host on QAM. Almost wanted to fight Beast in a parking lot, or did want to fight Beast in a parking lot. He had a stupid ass CBS Sports Minute today. If you guys know what that is, that's like it's usually Boomer Esiason. During our show, it's Boomer Esiason telling people to shut up and play ball. But he goes, LeBron says that he and AD aren't jealous. And whenever LeBron's not jealous, that's when he wins championships. The Heat lost in the 11 finals because LeBron was jealous of Dwayne. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, you're just making. So wait, you're just making something up where you're like, oh, LeBron was jealous. No, he wasn't. What? He was jealous of Dwayne Wade. Like, why does everybody think that him and Dwayne Wade have this animosity? It's just not true. I mean, how about you just say, hey, he shit the bed? Like, why don't we just admit that in the 11 finals? And him, yes, after game one, I'm never going to let that happen with the 11 finals again. We celebrated too early. I'm like, well, you guys were up 2-1 in that series. You came back and won game 3. Maybe not shit the bed in game 4 and 5, and you would have been okay. Oh, but game 2. Like, listen, game 2 sucked. I was there. One of the worst games I've ever attended, but Jesus Christ. And then he's like, they wasn't jealous and they won the championship in 16. It's like, no, actually, that's the opposite. They were jealous. That's why Kyrie Irving asked out. DA? Amendolara? So stupid. Anyway. Okay, let's see. LeBron winning hurts because I'm going to see it ever. Yeah, it's fine. Honestly, nothing hurt. To be honest, it's gonna. This year's been so awesome. I don't feel like it is gonna hurt that bad. I really, really don't. But I don't think they're gonna lose. Like, the Heat are coming back, dude. Game 3. Onion up, buck up. Let's see. I don't know what that's talking about. We definitely lost the first chip because LeBron was getting overshadowed by Wade and it effed up. No, Roy. Actually, we didn't. You want to know something? We effed up just because he sucked. That's it. I'm tired of people blaming it on Wade or he was unsure about going to. No, we did it because he was unsure of himself, not because of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade did his part. He didn't. And that's okay. Like, why do we always got to, we always got to go and say, oh, it's this, it's that, it was a comment because it wasn't about Wade. It wasn't about Wade effing up his confidence. He was messed up in his confidence. That's that. It's like, you keep wanting to give him this psychological path. Like, Dwayne was jacking up all his shots. Like, no, dude, he saw, a dwarf on him and he was like, oh, Deshaun Stevenson, he's letting him out playing. Jason Terry, he's letting him get into his head. Please, bro. Hell out of here. Let's see. Oladipo can defend and great on offense. I like Oladipo. I'm not into trading Tyler Hero for Oladipo. I just think that Oladipo's got too many injury things, and they smoked him in the playoffs. Like, he really, And the other thing with Oladipo, like, you just kind of like let the team get taken over by TJ Warren. That's a little bit weird too. It was almost like he was such you watched the page. I know he was banged up a little bit too, so maybe it's not a fair judgment, but I felt like I watched that series and he wasn't he just didn't impress as a top dude. So anyway, with all these injuries, do you think Miami is cooked? If Bam doesn't play on Sunday, which I guess the reports are that he is, that he plans to play. But if he for some reason can't play, then yeah, if he can't play, they are cooked. If he does play, I still hold out hope. I still have hope that they can win. I thought they showed some good stuff today. They definitely came up short, and the Lakers dominated in a lot of spots too. But it wasn't an embarrassment where it definitely could have turned into something of a laugher, and they definitely had their opportunities to go and win that game. They just couldn't, and it looked like it was a talent deficit. which having Bam back will help greatly. All right. I think I'm going to close it out for today, everybody. Because it's 1:40. And I've been doing this for an hour and 9 minutes. And I already did a radio show today, so I think I'm good. So if you like this, please subscribe to the YouTube page. We got some post-game media up there, some good interviews. Check it all out there, guys. We put some best stuff from the show as well. And if you guys want to listen to my show live every weekday, 6 to 10 a.m., 790 The Ticket down here in Miami. If you guys aren't in Miami, radio.com app, look up 790 The Ticket, and you guys can either stream us live there, or you guys can download the podcast, put up 4 episodes every single day for each hour of the show. Magnolia Stress to see you keep asking about free agent targets. We talked about that earlier in the stream, so if you want to go back, we talked about some free agent stuff, but I don't want to go too much into off-season stuff because the season is not over. They are down 0-2, and that is not the season over. All right. I will admit defeat if they go down 0-3. I will go down. I will bow out as a gentleman. But until then, no. They're in a bad spot, but they're not in an insurmountable spot. As Spo says, we don't give a shit what people think. That's how Heat Nation rolls. So anyway, if you want to, please download the podcast, Tobin and Leroy, 4 episodes every single weekday, but 6 to 10 a.m. live every single morning in Miami. We cover the whole smorgasbord of sports. And, if you just want to listen to us on YouTube, though, check us out there, man. Subscribe there, and that's always appreciated, too. I'm having a lot of fun doing these lives after the games. It's been really, really cool with you guys and interacting, even you Lakers bastards. I'm just messing with you. Anywho, so yeah, everybody have a good night's sleep, and talk to you after game 3. Go Heat.